All right, welcome to the March Aero Club safety meeting for February. And it's a nice, rainy, cold, bitter night, which is just perfect for having a safety meeting. It's not, it could be a little warmer in here, but it's not. So, and I'm Roger Mann, I'm the safety officer, and Bob Pierce is back there playing with the lights. And let's see, well, I don't know if we got any instructors in here or not. I can't even see anybody. But we do have our mechanic back here, though. He always shows up. He's at every meeting, every single meeting. And so welcome. All right. What we do usually is that we do an agenda, as you might want to guess. And what we do here is that anybody who's new to this meeting, it doesn't mean you're a new pilot or anything like that, it just means you're a new person involved in what's going on here. So please stand up and show yourself and introduce yourself to everybody, because this is a club. So we got some back here. Okay,
well, we can go first.
We'll let the Army go first.
All right. I'm Lieutenant Colonel John Clearwater. I'm the new Deputy Director at the American Forces Network Broadcast Center. We're the largest broadcast organization in the world. We beam to approximately 1 million soldiers or troops around the world, from Afghanistan to Korea, and ships at sea and everywhere else. Been assigned here for about 6 months now, and the way I looked at this was one of the great opportunities to be near this Aero Club. So glad to be here. Thank you.
I'm Dave Peterson. I'm retired Navy.
Go Navy!
Go Navy, yeah, there you go. I've been retired for a long time. I was in a club when Fred was running it, and I dropped out since '98, I guess it was, and so I just started back in. So anyway, I'm glad to be here, and I'll probably meet all of you. Thank you.
So you were in the club when Fred was running it. Were you on a wooden ship?
Pardon?
If you were in the club when Fred was running it, was that a wooden ship?
Yeah, that wooden ship's a steel men.
All right, let's see.
One more. I'm David Cody. I am new to the wing safety department on the base here, helping out Mark Whitteman over here, doing the wing safety stuff for you guys. And I'm currently attached to the 336 flying the tankers.
All right. And welcome to the club, too. And Mark doesn't always bite, so you know he's a good guy sometimes.
I'm here for when he decides to have another bike accident.
Yeah, definitely. And then we really have to talk about safety, right? Actually, I was thinking, Mark, having you do a bicycle safety thing up here. But all right, anybody else? Somebody turned out the lights back there so David could sleep. Okay, can't see anybody. I guess that's not it. Well, you missed last meeting, so.
That was your last one.
Well,
Yeah, one before.
One before, yeah. Okay, the next thing we talk about is new pilot ratings. Anybody that's done anything, including soloing. This includes Air Force, not just only the Aero Club. So, you know, if you just passed your check ride with a KC-135 or a C-17, that counts too. So, has anybody done anything spectacular in the last couple of months?
VFR?
I just recently passed my check ride, so I can use your airplanes.
Yay! Congratulations. Yeah, I saw that you had done so. As a matter of fact, he even mentioned that. John Law had mentioned that. Okay, anybody else?
VFRs?
Gee whiz, huh?
I thought we had a couple of VFRs now.
Yeah, I thought we had, yeah, I don't know. Wasn't there somebody that just had a Biana fight review just recently?
That's basically what I did.
That's what you did, yeah.
I combined the two.
Yeah, that's what you can do. You can do a BFR and the check in the Aero Club. And preferably, you like to keep them together instead of, 6 months out of each other. That kind of makes things a little more difficult. Okay, anybody else? Let's see. And for those of you that are...
airplane yesterday.
Oh, all right. And he helped, yeah. That's his brother, incidentally. That's David's brother. That's good. That's good. Well, okay, has anybody gotten anything taken away from them from the FAA? Any judgments or anything?
My birthday.
Your birthday? Okay. Yeah. Okay, experiences. This is where you get to tell your story, George. The George always, he's a manager of an airport down here, and he sees a lot of exciting things, but, Ken.
I got to fly a glider for the first time.
Whoa.
So, and it wasn't supposed to have an engine. So, that was good. And I didn't like it.
You did? Really?
No, it's way too sluggish on the controls, moving those long wings around. And there's a steel skid plate on the bottom of the nose.
Oh, yeah.
And when you stop, it hits that skid plate, and you land with a big down the runway.
That's normal.
That's horrible.
So you felt like you came in with your wheels up, right?
Yeah, I'm done. I don't like gliders. I like an engine.
You always use your fingernails.
Yeah. So actually, you could hear yourself think.
No, it was an old, pretty loud glider.
Yeah. Well, the last time I ever did anything like that, the glider was pretty loud. How many of you are fly gliders? Yeah, I knew some.
Like you,
George, you did too? Really? Wow.
Well,
Well, that's neat. Yeah, back in World War II when they flew the gliders into Germany. Anything else? Anybody else have something?
I did have something. The only thing I had at Ramona Airport was a 172 blew a tire on landing, and that was just minor stuff. And coming back in here, I had to come back with no radios back into the base here. In the 182, had an extremely hard time seeing that green light. I flew past the tower several times and flew head on into the tower. And I thought I saw it, wasn't sure, but I had the person in the back seat was a former controller.
Did you ask for permission to buzz the tower?
Yeah. But he confirmed that I did see it, but it's really, really hard to see. And they were pretty good after I saw the light. No problem.
You saw the light.
Saw the light.
How many here know what the procedure is if you lose comm coming back here in the field?
Not those flashing lights.
I know you should know it. Justin, I know. Yeah, you guys. Scott, you should know it. You fly enough out here. Of course, you never lose communication. How many carry a portable radio with them all the time? Yeah, that's a good idea. It's a real good idea. Because anytime you're in rental airplanes, anytime you're in rental airplanes, you never know. So you probably want to do it. You don't know who you operated those radios last time.
I'd like to ask George. George? Hey, George.
Yes.
When you couldn't see the light, was the due to reflection from the sun off the glass up there, or was it just the position?
I didn't see the sun reflection. I just couldn't see the darn thing.
I think I'll bring this up to Chris Davis. They just have to work on that and do the testing.
He seemed to think it was out of focus or something, the other guy in the back seat.
It's not. There's nothing to focus. It's just
No,
the light with the lens.
sometimes-
At
I
Ramona,
think
we have a
probably-
great big light, this big.
They drag that screen down.
Cable.
or whatever.
Yeah, you can't see through the screen.
Yeah.
Well,
Shaded.
I'm just going to bring it up with Chris Davis and let them resolve it because it should be fixed. They're going to have to do something else. If you're making 2 or 3 passes and you don't see the light, then there's something at issue with the tower.
Yeah, they have these new cordless lights up there, battery lights.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if anybody's going to use it, it's us.
They're on
You
a,
know, I mean,
they're on a big box.
C-17 and
Yeah,
KC-135s, the chances of them using it is pretty small. There's only one time we ever used it in the 141, and that was in Hawaii. And that was a night. I'll tell you about that someday. Okay, all right. We're going to have to talk to the Aero Club manager. Just kind of tell him you go like this when he gets too long, okay? And then after that, know your SOPs. And then after that, I've got a headache. And that's a surprise.
You on drugs?
Okay, it's your turn.
Yeah, unfortunately. Lot of stuff to cover. For the T-34 drivers, I'm going to think about holding a class on engine operation, because we have a lot of individuals that really don't quite understand whether the fuel injection and how it operates, or whether it's carbureted and how it operates. And so we're finding people that are, George will get out, start it up, get the engine warm. I have no qualms. We have some people want to go out there and start taxiing within 3 minutes. That means that you got a cold engine running high power settings. Secondly, in regards to high power settings, we're dragging brakes, especially those that don't have nose wheel steering. You don't need to carry a lot of power once the aircraft starts rolling. You can bring it back to 800, 900 RPM. It's going to roll very easily. But if you carry 1200, 1300 RPM like I hear from the office, you're dragging brakes. And we've just had to replace brakes on 5, 7. They were down the middle. There wasn't anything left on them. So we're going to discuss that some more. We found a few airplanes with the gas caps either loose or not placed back on after fueling. With the rains that we're having, and because the recess in the 180, 172 wings, you've got to get those gas caps on. And I'll talk to that person later. Logbooks and logs in regards to the aircraft. We're doing fine checking out the aircraft out of the computer, but we're not putting the inputs back in the computer when we get back because we're in a rush. We're also not putting the fuel back into the fuel log. And we're not putting the log time and those things that should be written up in the metal folders for the airplane. So we have to improve ourselves in trying to correct some of those deficiencies that we have, so that when someone comes in to get an airplane, we're not running back and forth to check the hobs or the tack times because there's so many errors that have been placed in the computer. And then we go back to the paperwork and re-pull up that paperwork, and we finally isolate that, yeah, the individuals aren't writing the right numbers down. So let's work a little bit harder on that to make sure that we are correct. Flight time and maintenance. As far as maintenance is concerned, we don't operate by notes. I want to put that again. We do not operate by notes. If there's an issue with the airplane, write it up. And we do have forms in the lower left-hand file box or desk drawer, and all you got to do is look under logs, and there'll be all kinds of forms in there. So if you run out of a form on the folder, there's new forms in the bottom of the sheet. But when you just leave a little sticky note on there and say that this is inoperative, I had a red light, I had this and that doesn't work. And then I go over to the computer when it should be grounded, and there's nothing in it, which means someone can take and go check it out and take off in the damn thing. So let's try and work a little bit harder on putting the stuff where it's supposed to be. And that is in the computer so that maintenance can take and review what's going on, and also in the books. I appreciate that. I want to talk about fuel costs. Fuel costs are going up 15 cents a week on an average. Our last load was 60 or 70 cents over the cost from last week, and from our last load. And we're doing everything we can to try and keep our costs down. If you look in Air Nav and look at pricing of fuel, some of the local fuels are up to $5.90 a gallon. The cheapest right now is Big Bear at $5.09, but they're also supported by a tax that's around the airport, so they can keep their prices down. But their next gas load is going to be up, and by the time they get their taxes onto that, compared to what I paid this week, without a profit, their costs are going to be a minimum of $5.70 a gallon. By the time you add taxes to that, now you add your profit on that, so you already see that we're looking at $5.90 a gallon within the next few months easily in that thing. So how's that going to affect the Aero Club? Well, it affects the Aero Club in two ways, because we're already showing a loss for the first 3 months, and we've got money now to fix 555, and I've got money for an additional amount of money to fix the 182 with engine increase in costs. We're going to have to increase the cost for the rental of the airplane. There's nothing I can do about it. So if you want the Aero Club to survive and live forever, which I hope to see it do, because I'd like to fly the T-34s eventually after being here 7 years instead of just my Bonanza. we're going to have to add a few dollars to the cost of fuel. Likewise with membership dues. The average cost of membership dues in all the other clubs is $30. We're still at $25. So when I went to the council this past week with Roger, one of the things that was brought up was, what are we going to do to take and reduce the costs and bring the club back to a zero profit, at least a zero profit by the end of September. We have 4 airplanes we'll get rid of. The O2B already belongs to the museum at Wright Pat. 6-4 Delta, we're not sure what we're going to do with that. We'll put an engine in probably in that. It will probably be ferried back to Davis-Monthan. 3-5 Foxtrot or 6-9 Romeo will go. We're not sure which one on that one yet. And there'll probably be a T-41 Charlie that's going to go. So even though it's very little cost to the Aero Club to maintain those aircraft without putting maintenance into it, I had to show something to the council to show that we're trying. So we're going to reduce the number of airplanes we have to 10 with 1 spare. That includes 1 spare. We'll be operating with 9 aircraft. And that's fairly reasonable considering that most of the Aero Clubs are running on 5 airplanes. There's a few that have 7. And we have the most Air Force in all of the Aero Clubs. Don't forget Wright Pat's closed. Scott's Air Force Base, the Aero Club's closed. Eglin has got a reprieve and is still in operation. So we don't know what's going to happen with the sequester. We're not sure what's happening with funding, and it affects everyone's pocket, whether we're on the outside or an Aero Club member or anything else. All of this stuff is being affected by the administration. I have survival, and I don't recall what I meant by survival down here. Oh, it's the survival of the Aero Club. So I've spoken my piece. Thank you. Thank you, David and Jim, for getting the airplanes up. I know you worked all day last Saturday and Sunday, and I appreciate the time you come out here on your days off. Pay is not great. You're not going to become rich. But no, for the individuals that are renting and using the aircraft, David G. does put in an awful lot of time, and I think he deserves a great.
Also, David's brother, he does. He helps him out a lot, and of course, actually, David's brother keeps David out of trouble too. So.
It's not an easy job.
No, it's not. No. Let's see. Okay, right now, this is what we've got or going to have. We want to welcome back Brandon Neuenhuis, who used to be our chief flight instructor. He is now back, not full-time, of course, because he's still in the Air Force and still learning things. But he made it through pilot training with flying colors, literally. And so he's back. And for those of you that I know, a lot of you guys like flying with him. And then we got Jay Molyneux. He's I don't know exactly what his schedule is going to be yet, so I don't know where he's at in terms of what his availability will be. Of course, our chief flight instructor, John Law, he's pretty much the most available. He lives just off base right out here, and he, you know, on a phone call, as long as he doesn't have something to do, he can come out and fly. So he's probably the most available. And then you got Jerry Rollis, who is right now, he's kind of laid up with, I think he's had his shoulder operation. And so he's going to be laid up a little bit. But once he gets back, you know, he's around, but he lives a long ways away. So you kind of got to set up with him a little bit ahead of time. Alex Popoff, he's weekends only. He's now got a job up there in Palmdale, so he's getting the big bucks now, and so he comes out on the weekends and flies. And then we got Tony Costanzo, who is supposed to do phase checks for the students. That's what he basically does, and then he helps, the rest of the time he helps David and the hangar on fixing the airplanes. And then you got Fred Zoltz, which is T-34s only, pilot and command. You have to be pilot and command to fly with him. So basically, he can do annual check rides for the Aero Club or biennial flight reviews, as long as you haven't ran out of the time for that. In other words, you have to be able to be qualified in the airplane for him to do the check. And that's what we got right now. As time goes, and as Fred, he's had an operation this week, so he's going to be out for a little bit too. And once we get Jerry back and Fred back, we're in pretty good shape, really. Now we just need to keep the club going, and like Bob said, we're going to have to raise some prices somewhere. There's just no way, because Air Force Reserve side is really looking at the profits of all of the services. I mean, they're even talking about things like closing down Outdoor Rec, closing down the club, closing down all those places. I mean, what used to be sacred in the military, it's gone. I mean, anything can be shut down if they think it's not making any money. Well, and I'll tell you, you can thank Fred for us being here, because they tried to shut down this club several times when Fred was the club manager, and especially when it converted over to reserve. And they tried to shut it down several times. But fortunately, we had General Gadd, who was pro-club, and every wing commander we've had here has been pro-Aero Club. The last one we had here, he had his son in the club. So, they all want to keep the club going. We're the only Aero Club under AFRC. And so they have mixed feelings about us. They don't know what to do with us. They really have no idea what an airplane is, most of the ones that are the academic side. And so we're basically keeping alive, because I don't think they like the idea of just shutting down things. So that's the only reason why we're here. Air Force is out to close all Aero Clubs, active duty side. They want to close them all down. They don't want to have nothing to do with them anymore. And those of you that knew General Curtis LeMay, he would roll over in his grave if he knew that, because he's the one that started Aero Clubs. And General LeMay is the one that was the head of SAC for many years, and then he became the Chief of Staff of the Air Force. And he had the Aero Clubs here for a lot of purposes. And if you want to see him, I've got some of the things he's written on why he wanted Aero Clubs. And but the problem is, we became services. And once we transferred over into services, now we're under a whole different regime. And they just see us as just another entity like the club and all the other things. They don't have a clue or understand what it is to have airplanes. And even to this day, Bob and I are on that phone constantly trying to explain to these people why you got to have an annual, why you have to have like the 182, we got to take it down for a new engine, why do we have to do all this, because they don't understand it. They're sitting there looking at it and going, well, my car doesn't have to have that. And I just say, well, your car doesn't fly at 7,000 or 8,000 feet up in the air, like these do, and they're not under the FAA. And so it's a battle. It really is. And Bob is always on the phone, and sometimes I have to go there and calm him down sometimes. So, and me too. So, enough said on that. I'm taking my time because it's kind of short tonight. Okay, what we do is we cover just a little bit of the SOPs, and we cover like a few paragraphs of the SOPs, and we just go through the whole SOP that way until we go to the end, and then we start all over again. And we do this just as a real short little thing here. Under Chapter 4, it is under Student Pilot Procedures. However, if you'll notice down at the bottom of the screen down there, it says, although this is a Student Procedures, these also apply to all pilots. Just common sense should tell you that. Because most of the things that's required of a student, I think that most pilots should look at that. Don't ever get so high-minded oh, I've got 10,000 flying hours, I don't need to pay attention to these things. When you get that way, that's maybe the time you should stop flying an airplane. Don't ever get to that point. We've got some guys in this club that's flown every kind of airplane you can think of, F-16s, you know. We even had a guy in here, I guess, at one time that flew the SR-71. And they were all, and, you know, and then we got Cass back here who's flown, I don't know how many kind of fighter aircraft he's flown, you know, and he's pretty humble for the most part. But I gotta say, Cass is, you know, and all you guys that are flown these, you know, high performance airplanes, you know, you guys are, you know, good guys, you know, but every once in a while you get somebody that gets that, you know, they think they know it all. And we've had a few in the club, not join the club, but come in and look at the club, and they didn't like the idea that they had to come to a meeting like this. Well, all the years I've flown the F-16, I never had to do anything like this, and so they don't join the club. And I say, okay, good riddance. You know, we don't need you. We need people that are going to comply to the regulations and comply to safety of flying. Under here, we got, this is under starting procedures, and what it is under these paragraphs is just showing how the use of checklists, use the checklist. Paragraph 411.2, your flight instructor will be the aircraft for all pre-solo starts. Now that's for the students specifically there. For taxiing, never taxi in a way that endangers any person or property. Do you think that's only for students? No, I would say not. I would say that also includes, I don't care how many hours you got. The FARs prohibit careless or reckless operations. Well, duh, you know, I mean, it's just common sense. Obviously, you don't want to endanger anybody's life or another airplane running into it. Keep the power at a minimum at all times except when needed. Paragraph 412, taxiing around other aircraft will be at a slow walk, and that's true always. In the Civil Air Patrol, which Bob and I are in, that is a rule, an absolute flat-out rule. You do not go any faster than a slow walk. When I flew the 141s, C-141s, it was also, you weren't supposed to go much faster than a walk. Now, of course, that's relative. You know, you're sitting there going in a 4-engine jet, taxiing at a slow walk is kind of slow. But we used to have the INS where you'd sit there and look at it and you could see what your speed was on the ground. And you tried to keep the thing at least below 10 miles an hour. You try to go as slow as you can. Let's see, taxiing on taxiways will be no faster than a fast walk. Okay, avoiding using the brakes to control speed. Bob had just talked about a little bit on that just a few minutes ago. Use power first. Maneuvering in areas with wingtip clearance of less than 25 feet will only be accomplished with an outside safety observer watching the wingtip. Civil Air Patrol, absolute hands down. If you ever come to the Civil Air Patrol and fly, that is an absolute. You will have a wing walker. And
That's caught up with us a couple times here.
yeah, yes it has. We've had a couple of incidences where we've had some wingtip scrapes against another airplane that wasn't even an Aero Club aircraft. That's another story. So, Air Force, take a wild guess what their wingtip clearance is. It's exactly the same thing, 25 feet. If it's closer than that, you're supposed to deploy somebody out of the airplane, scanner or somebody like that. If you're in a big jet, if you're in a fighter or something like that, then you got to have a crew chief or somebody like that doing wing walking. And let's see, use crosswind taxi controls. Well, you know, was there anything there that was just for students only, except for that one? Your flight instructor will be in the aircraft for all pre-solo start. That's about the only one out of that whole thing in there that's probably not applicable to us who are already got the license. Any questions? Okay, Bob. I know I hate to throw this on you, but let's do our little thing that we did with the pills.
You wanna do it now?
Is that allowed?
That's what we're gonna do. That's what I'm gonna go into.
You're an analysis after this?
Yeah, actually. Because that's what we're talking about tonight. I meant to tell you about it, but I couldn't. I just never could
Well,
catch
I would
up.
have come prepared with some pills.
Well, I know I don't have any people have to pretend.
I've got a bunch.
Do you? Okay. Basically, you know, what we did, Bob and I have done this skit before, and what we do is that we're both getting in one of our airplanes, like 3-5 Foxtrot.
Need a couple chairs.
And what we're doing is that we're getting ready to go fly. And I want you guys to kind of pay attention. Well, here, we got these ones here.
Want to use those?
Yeah, these are good.
You got a captain's chair?
The captain's chair. No, this is not the airline. For those of you who don't know, Bob was a retired captain for American Airlines, and he still thinks he's there. I always have to tell him when he gets in an airplane, and he's trying to look for all these throttles. And I said, Bob, there's just one throttle in this airplane. So. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't got 3 and 4 inches anymore, just got one.
Just one. Yeah. Okay. I would have had you prepared it.
Yeah,
earlier.
okay. Oh, I got a captain's hat here.
Oh.
So I wear my captain's hat here. I did this, had a chief pilot chew me out because I was wearing an engineer's cap from a train one day. And I said, gee, Captain, I said, we're going into the sun, I need a hat. And this is what I did. I also had a train whistle to warn the people that were about ready to taxi. He thought I was not professional. But we solved that in a hurry because I asked him to, when the sun got in his hat while he was sitting in the jump seat, I said, you want my hat now, Captain, so they keep the sun on the house? He says, I'm okay. I said, okay. Did you get the pre-flight?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I just did the paperwork, and I'm not sure. I think I got everything all done on that thing. So if you've done the pre-flight, I won't need you to do anything. So
Yeah.
we'll just jump in. Let's
Yeah,
get started.
I
Here.
was just taking these pills here to help me see
Oh,
better.
you got a cold again?
Yeah, I got a really bad cold. Yeah, I just, you know.
It's not dementia. It's just cold, right?
No, it's just a cold.
Okay.
Really super bad
If
cold.
not, I got some real high-powered ones that will take me. Knock
Oh,
that
you
thing
do?
out in a hurry. Oh, definitely.
Oh, really? Can I
Yeah.
have some?
Yeah, I think I got one right here. Just a second.
Okay. I mean, you know, I am flying a little bit, aren't I? Are you going to let me fly?
Oh, you can. Yeah, you can handle it.
Oh, okay.
We'll let you do it here.
Okay. Yeah.
Here, help yourself and.
Oh, gosh,
That
yeah.
big white one in
The
there
big
really
white?
works.
Oh,
Oh,
gee,
God,
yeah.
that works great.
Wow. What is it?
I know, some kind of decongestant, but it
really?
knocks the hell out of me.
Oh,
but,
does it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it probably will hurt me any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the checklist going there so we can get going?
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. Engine start. Oh, no, wait, that's item 5. Okay, yeah. I meant that thing back there.
I didn't
must
bring
have-
my checklist with me, so I'll just use yours.
Okay, well,
We can make it work.
Well, I wrote it out last night. I just copied it off the
Okay,
internet.
that's good enough. That's good enough.
Okay. Yeah, so where are Bob and Roger at? I hope they don't see us. Anyhow, okay.
The one that really complains is David G.
Oh, tell me about it. Hey, by the way, the tire was flat.
Did you see the ball spot? I think we're okay for this flight, though.
Well, I think so. I put some air in it, and so we're doing okay. Yeah.
Get that checklist. We'll get this thing started, and we can
Boy.
just get our
Yeah.
flight time out of here for the month.
Man, I'm telling you, hey, I didn't know we had 2 of everything. Is this a twin-engine airplane?
Well, here's a checklist. Read that one there. You'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Where did this one come from?
Oh, I found it over here in the.
Oh, it was in there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, half the pages
Someone
are
left.
missing.
Someone left
Okay.
it here, so we'll just use
Oh,
that one.
well.
That's good enough.
Yeah. Do you want any pills or anything like that?
No, I think right now I'm doing pretty good.
I'd hate to have us all be unequal. We need to be the
Need a
same.
Kleenex?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yes.
I got a pocket full of that too.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Every once in a
okay.
while I get an ear block, but it's okay.
Oh, you do? Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I've
Okay.
been fighting this cold
Yeah,
for the
I
last
think
2
so.
weeks. I've had this cough too.
Yeah.
But I think we're okay.
Wow.
We're only going to go 3,500 feet
Oh,
today.
is
so
that,
we'll
is
be-
that all? Okay, good. I hope
Yeah,
so.
we'll be
'Cause,
fine.
yeah, I can't hear anything, so. All right. Okay. Well, here, according to this thing here, we're supposed to just see. Oh, check brakes? No, that's.
I got 'em parked.
Oh, you do have it parked?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Mixture. What's that? Which one is that?
That's the red one.
Oh,
Push it in.
okay. Rich. I wish I was rich. I could buy more pills.
I got all my money the other day for gas.
Yeah, well, holy smoke, boy, I'm telling you, everything's getting dizzy now. Are we up in the air already?
Just get
Have
rid
you
of the
just-
checklist so we can get the
okay.
engine started and we get
All right,
going.
All right, okay, well.
We'll get up there.
Oh, well, heck with the checklist. Let's just go ahead. I know how to do
Okay,
this.
here. I got the mixture in.
Yeah.
Practice thing here. Clear.
Wow.
that sounds pretty good. Let me gas it a little bit.
Yeah, just really,
Yeah, it's working pretty good.
Yeah, just keep it rich.
Okay,
because
what else we
don't,
need
you
to
know,
check? We need to drop the flaps down and see if the flaps are down.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Let's see if the
Yeah.
flaps are they down over there? Yeah, okay, that works pretty
These
good.
green pills, they were just kind of like, like, what's this? What was in this white pill?
That
What
white
is-
one is,
whoa,
it's a
gosh,
knocker-outer
whew,
one. That guy really,
gee.
it's a good prescription.
Yeah, is it really? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
ready
take
to
care
go.
of
All right, let's go. All right, let's go. Hit the
Okay,
power.
let me
Let's
call
go.
the tower here. Tower, this is Aero Club 52 Foxtrot. We're ready to taxi from the Aero Club. We've got the information, but I need the winds over. He says a little bit of a crosswind, but we're okay on that thing. I think, let me see, it's about 90 degrees at 10. Yeah, we only, that's good. We're in good
Yeah,
shape
we're
here.
okay. Yeah, we're not students.
Okay, we're cleared to
Yeah.
runway 30.
Okay, why don't we get going? Because
Okay.
why don't we taxi about 30 miles an hour or so? You know?
Okay, let me just
We're
ride
not
these. We'll
students
just get
or
these
anything. We don't
brakes
need
going
to
here
pay
because I
attention
don't
to
want to heat them up too
Yeah,
much,
I-
but we can get that steering
Yeah.
on here.
Wow.
Okay, here we go. Got it. Okay,
Are
we're
you
in the
sure we're
taxi
not a
area
twin
here. Let me
engine
get the mag
airplane?
check. Let me
I
see.
think there's 2 engines out there. There's
Let me
2
get,
about.
that's okay. Just hang in
That's
loose here. Let me get
okay.
this mag check here. 1, 2,
Hi.
3. 1, 2. Yeah, I don't know. It looks pretty close to me in that mag check, so we're
Oh,
okay.
we're all right. Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I
let's
said
go in
there's
through,
4
let's run through
engines.
the thing here and switch the radio up there. Just push
Oh.
that number 1 button over there. We'll switch it over. Yeah.
There's 2 number 1s
I
up there.
got it.
Which
I
one?
got it right
okay,
there.
right,
Okay.
right there. Okay.
What was the frequency for the tower? Do you recall what that was?
I don't know. What is
Was
it?
it 121.75 or is it 127.65?
It's maybe it's what?
Which one were we
I
on?
don't
We were
know.
just on 121.
I thought we were on.
Okay, I got the right
no,
one
go
now.
ahead.
126.
All right.
What was the ATIS? I forgot what the ATIS was.
Well, I don't know.
Anyway,
We don't
we're
need
okay.
the ATIS. Everything. Look, it's clear outside. Well, maybe raining, but it's clear. Yeah.
Well, anyway, magneto's checked pretty good here, so let me just go through this thing real quick. Like, okay, I got the flaps up, got the cowls open, and I got the mixture enriched, the props up. Yeah, I think we're ready to go. I'll call the
Okay.
tower for takeoff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, tower 52 Foxtrot ready for takeoff. Roger.
No, it's
Taxiing to
3-5 Foxtrot.
Well, I call it 52.
Well, no, that's wrong. It's 3-5.
Well, it could be 5215 Foxtrot then.
Yeah, actually,
Maybe
I
it's
couldn't
15
see.
Foxtrot.
Well, I don't know what we
Anyway,
are.
they
Well,
know
just
which one.
they say we're the blue and white. No, black and white. No, white. What color are we?
You want the truth?
Yes.
I don't know what color he is, folks.
Gosh. Okay.
Okay, let me get this thing going here. Okay, 2,400 RPM, we're up to about 25. Okay, let's get this thing here, 70 knots. Yeah, we'll just lift this thing off a little bit. Okay, this thing's a little bit sluggish, but I think we
Whoa,
just push some more
whoa,
throttle on this
whoa.
thing here.
Man, look
Keep
at
it
that.
going here, keep it going. Yeah,
I
there we
didn't
go.
know there was 2 marches.
Okay, 5-2 Foxtrot's turning downwind tower. Roger. How are we doing on that side? We clear on that side?
Oh, yeah. all
About
3.
400 feet, but I think I got enough clearance over here to
Oh,
get
you
across
do?
that thing.
Yeah, I
that
think
tower.
watch out for the F-16.
Okay, now we're downwind. Got it downwind. here.
There's about 30 of them down
What
there.
altitude were we going to? 3,500? We're head down to Hemet?
Yeah, I think
Want
so.
to go down to Hemet, do some
Oh,
touch
sure,
notes?
yeah.
Okay. Hey, just a second. You got the controls. I gotta blow my nose.
Okay, yeah.
Holy jeez, criminy
Whoa!
Hey, we're only 800 feet above the ground here. Hang on.
We are, oh, okay.
Okay, I'm okay.
Oh, gee.
Got that sucker.
Holy smoke, man. Oh, well, you got the throttle all the way forward here. That's,
Oh, yeah, I got it.
you got it?
Yeah,
You sure?
I got it now. Let me just do a little trim in here. Got it.
What?
That's a little bit better. Get it out of trim.
Trim?
No wonder you wanted to take a nosedive.
Oh, my goodness. Trim?
Trim? Yeah,
I
it's
never-
a big wheel on that side over there.
Is it really? Oh, I thought it was just a little button on the side
There's
of the wheel.
3,500 feet. I wish we had an autopilot in this sucker. Sometimes I kind of wonder why we don't have them in that.
I thought we
117.
did. I've been pushing that little button for a long time. And it, letting go the wheel.
What button have you been pushing?
That one right there.
Are
It's
we-
the one.
Are you looking out the window for traffic, by the way?
Oh, traffic. Oh, yeah.
I
there's
just saw
all
a guy
kinds
go
of-
over by just off the wing
You
here.
did?
You weren't
Really?
watching. You're
No.
the way you're sitting in that seat.
Well, I
And
thought
I'm the captain.
No, you're the what? What? No, I thought you were just somebody off the street.
I am.
How many hours you got?
29.
20. Gee, well, I've got 5,000 flying hours as a loadmaster.
In the toilet?
On drugs. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let's get into some seat. I need to do a little practice here. I need to get in some seat turns. So it looks okay on this side. Look okay on your side?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It looks great out
Let's
here.
try 45. Let's try to see what
Clear as
60
a
does.
bell. Whoa, what's that noise? What's that
60,
buzzing
let me
noise?
just get that sucker back off here. That was a 60-degree angle bank. Boy, this thing doesn't have any power. It's not, well, no, if I push the throttle in, I'll be okay.
Oh, well.
There we go. Hey, we're all set here.
Are you sure you don't need more pills?
No, I don't know, but I'm getting a stuffy nose. Let me take this thing here and go,
Oh, geez. Oh, okay.
just right. I can breathe now. Let's open
What
it
kind of
up.
bottle is that? I've never seen that.
That's a
before.
prescription.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
one
okay.
of those things. Okay, it's
It's-
okay.
it's okay.
then. Yeah, okay. Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good here.
Is that doing it? Okay. That's what I thought, yeah.
I had that cough too. I probably need some other stuff, but anyway. That's okay.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Well, you know, yeah, I'm a diabetic. I got to take this needle here. Just a second. Oh. Okay.
That wasn't in the script last time.
No, it wasn't.
Jeez, man, you're really up on the high stuff, aren't you?
No.
Maybe we ought to go another 1,000 feet and see how high you can really
Okay,
go,
let's
man.
go. I'm ready to go.
Okay, we're coming in for a landing. You got the checklist for the
Yes,
landing?
I got the checklist for the landing. Okay, wheels down.
Well, they're already down because it's fixed gear.
Oh, it is? Okay. Well, I thought maybe we were upside down.
No,
if
I
we're
think I'm
upside
just in
down,
a
the
little
wheels
bank.
can go.
I'll take a level it off
Alright.
here a little bit.
Because
Yeah,
if we're
doing
upside down, we have to have the wheels down.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, okay. All
I'll
right.
put the flaps down.
Put the flaps down. Okay.
There's the first notch.
Yeah, eight.
Okay.
Eight
Mixture's up.
mixture. Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, let's see the frequency. What was the frequency at Hemet? 123.0?
I have no
122.8.
idea. I don't know. I don't care anymore.
Let's try 123.0. We'll try that up here. Okay, Hemet traffic, this is Cessna 5-2 Foxtrot. We're turning downwind for runway 26. Midfield. I thought I cut a little bit short.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
geez,
you
there's a
cut
guy over
really
there.
short.
There's a
Yes.
guy over there. I just cut him off, didn't I?
Well, yes, you
Holy
did.
jeez. That's okay. He
Well,
can follow behind me.
Well, that's all right. There's two of them out there anyhow. So.
That's okay. We'll just call downwind. Hope we're on the right frequency.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, I'm a beam here. I'm gonna cut this one real short for a touch and go. Okay, here we go. I need full flaps. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got too much
You want
power
me-
on this. Let me put in a little.
Right rudder.
I'm gonna do a little top rudder and rudder and get this sucker down. We're awful damn high. Okay, there we are. Okay, getting in there. A little bit high. Let me do a 1 potato, 2 potato. Okay, there we go. 1 potato, 2
Well,
potato. I'll get it back
sounds
down
like a
that glide
Navy
slope. Oh,
thing.
there are the lights again. 1 potato, 2 potato. Okay, there we are. Power's off. I'm just coasting. Oh, geez, look at 'em. 15 knots high. Holy
Good.
jeez, man. That's okay. Let's put on the brakes. Tell
Yep, there.
abort the takeoff. I'll tell this guy behind us. Abort the
Okay,
takeoff.
you
We're
want me to
pulling off
help?
the next
Yeah.
taxiway.
I'll help right here, yeah.
Man, just a second here.
We'll call
I'm gonna
David
put on
G.
the
He'll
brake
come
here.
down and pick up the
I gotta
airplane.
take my seat. I tell you.
Yeah.
This nose is just getting to me. Let me just go here. Pass me a jug of water, will you?
Whoa, yeah. Oh, there's just wine. There's no water here. It's just wine.
Okay, that's okay. I think this precludes what we're trying to get to.
Anyhow.
Can we do that every month?
Yeah,
It's better
I'm trying
if
to get
we-
volunteers of people to help out doing things like this, and every time I ask, everybody goes, "Oh no, not me." Okay. Oh yeah, the point behind the whole thing was, how many things did we do wrong? Okay. There was a whole bunch of things there that we were trying to get across, and a lot of it is pretty much kind of a common sense thing for pilots. You know, on the outside, for non-pilots, people do all kinds of weird stuff. But one of the things that pilots should be aware of more than anybody who's not a pilot, and that is taking pills and drugs and sleep and all that stuff. Now, of course, an airline pilot or a pilot in the Air Force probably knows it better than a person who's never been in the military. But even somebody who's, before I ever joined the military, when I was a private pilot and I was flying, I knew, you know, common sense just tells you, you don't sit there and take some kind of pill when you're flying an airplane. Now, you always hear every year, and you listen to the NTSB and the safety reports about people who have taken pills and dinged a wingtip or an airplane, and it comes to find out that they had done just that. I've heard it even in the Air Force. Some of you guys that's been in the Air Force have heard and seen safety reports on where a crew member, you know, an airplane crashes and something happens, and some of the contributory part of the accident is because some Marine pilots, the ones I'm thinking of down in Miramar, I think it was, they had crashed an airplane, they survived, but the report came out and they wasn't the main cause of the accident, but the contributory was they had just used Afrin the pilot and the weapons officer in the back had used nasal spray to clear their heads. And when they asked, well, why did you do that? It was because, well, they were a little bit stuffy that morning, and they knew they were going to be doing some maneuvers, so they just wanted to make sure that their heads were clear. Now, in itself, you know, does that really affect you? I mean, you know, I know that many of us do things like that, but according to the Marines, when they did their investigation, it came back that that was something that they were not supposed to be doing, and they put it up there as being one of the contributory factors. And of course, they probably grounded the guys too because they went against regulations. But one of the things that to do in flying our type of airplanes, and I even used it in the Air Force too when they're flying, is that don't take something where if they find you've got it, you're going to be grounded for it or get in trouble for it. What kind of effect does something have on you? Well, you don't know. Bob and I here, when we got in the airplane, what did I do? I had already taken some pills to help myself get around the airplane and do the pre-flight. And then Bob comes up and says, he's got this pill. Well, I took the pill without even asking what it was about. After I took the pill, then I asked him, what was this pill? And he says it's a decongestant. Now, one of the things I didn't know, several things, was I had no idea what kind of pill it was he gave to me. Number two, even if I did I have any idea how it affected with the pill I had already taken? And that's one of the things that the FAA looks at. The FAA looks at what contributory factor may have caused a person's judgment to fly an airplane safely to go off that safety track and crash an airplane. And they've got a lot of statistics on this kind of stuff. And a lot of it is just where somebody had taken the pill that they knew did not affect them, but when they got up in that airplane up to 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 feet, the pill had some other effect on their body. Or combining the pill that you know with another pill that you think you may know, but not know how they react with each other. I have actually seen crew members in the Air Force take two different types of pills. And we actually had to lay the guy down in the back of the airplane because the two pills affected him. When you're the pilot in an airplane like a 172 or a 182 or a T-34, you don't have that luxury to just, I think I'll lay down a little bit. You're flying the airplane. So be wise about what you do when you medicate. I'm doing it this time of year because there's a lot of flus going around, there's a lot of colds going around. Even though you know what the pill is, be really careful about taking those pills. FAA has medical doctors who look into this stuff all the time. They approve things sometimes they don't. And even though the pill that you're taking may be approved, again, don't take it with something else, because the FAA has looked into those pills being okay for the pill by itself, but not necessarily mixed with something else. Most people can get waivers for things. Air Force, I know, waivers things. A lot of people, when I first started flying the Air Force, we could not take aspirin without seeing the flight surgeon. The flight surgeon had to okay it. And then later on, I think it was about the mid-90s, they finally came down and said that any aircrew member can take aspirin without having to have it pre-approved by the flight surgeon. So, you know, what you think might be dumb, the FAA is trying to work in making those things that might not have any effect at all, like aspirin, for the most part. Now, unless you're somebody who's allergic to aspirin, then it might be another story. But use common sense. Don't just run out there and start medicating. Don't take a pill from your partner who you're flying with. You're really not supposed to take even aspirin from somebody else. If you have a headache, you take the aspirin that you know you've taken. But don't take pills from somebody else. That's where you start getting in trouble. Any questions so far? One of the sayings here that I got up here, what will be the consequences if the medication doesn't work or if it wears off before the flight is over? That's another thing to look at. If you are taking a pill that is fully authorized by the FAA and by your doctor, and there's no effects, one of the things you do have to take into consideration is, like Bob and I go down to Texas every once in a while to check on our T-34. Our one T-34 has been down there for 7 or 8 years. When we fly down there, it's a 6-hour flight. Well, if I take a headache pill or a pill that's a 4-hour pill that's been authorized to take, is it going to run out by the time I get there? Probably will after 6 hours. If you take Excedrin, that's 6 hours. A good general rule is that it depends on the medication for a safe flight. So in other words, if your condition that you're taking the pill for causes you to not fly the airplane the way you should fly the airplane, then maybe you shouldn't be going at all. If that pill runs out before that leg that you're flying on runs out, then the pill runs out before that. So if it takes some kind of a pill to make you fly the airplane better, then you need to be really sitting down and thinking, is that pill something you should be taking in the first place? Should you even be going at all? If you're just flying from here to Hemet or something like that, that's one thing. But on a long distance flight, be really aware of that. Any questions? Consider the reaction to the medication. And this, of course, is what I was talking about a few minutes ago. There are two broad categories of medication reactions. One is unique reaction based on the individual's biological makeup, and that's one of the other things too, is that just because Bob can take a pill, maybe that pill won't react the same with me. That's a, you know, and I've seen that happen many times. Most people don't have such reactions, but anyone can give the right medication. Because of this, you should never fly after taking any medication that you have not taken before. It is not until after you have taken the medication that you will find out whether you have this uncommon, unexpected reaction to the medication. That's why you don't take meds from somebody else either. Third, consider the potential for adverse reactions or side effects. And of course, again, like with my character, you know, the first medicine and then combined with the second medicine, I was seeing everything in twos. and other things too. You can get dizzy, drowsy, lightheadedness, and if you're up at 7,000 feet, guess what? That even gets worse. So you want to take all that in consideration. And of course, every one of them, if you look at the label, they tell you, if you operate machinery or advise not to operate any kind of machinery, taking this med. That's, of course, most of your prescriptions come with that. That's another thing you want to be thinking about. So if it says that, then probably maybe you better not fly the airplane either. Side effects can occur at any time, so even if you've taken the same medication in the past without experiencing side effects, they could still occur. I was on a blood pressure medicine that I'd been taking for at least 2 years. No problem whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, I had an allergic reaction to it. And I literally ended up in the emergency room in the hospital for it. So, even if you've taken medicines that's never affected you, it could still affect you sometime down the road. I think that was it. Yeah. I think I got my point across. Don't do stupid things. Cass.
Andre, that's an example. We in fighters, single seat fighters, we would all often deploy, say, from New Mexico, nonstop to Germany, from South Carolina to Turkey, nonstop refueling, single seat. In order to prepare us, of course, we had to go into a controlled crew rest situation because we took off in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So they put you to sleep. But they tested everybody before that, and they found that many people, when they took a sleeping pill, they just stayed awake all night. And we were supposed to take a gold pill or Dexedrine. Halfway through there, they'd fall asleep. So, but that was part of the test that they ran of each individual pilot before we deployed. And then we found out, hey, you don't take the Dexedrine because you fall asleep. That's the way it is. But they do affect people different ways.
Yeah. Matter of fact, on one of the missions I flew to Europe, our aircraft commander was on a sleep test thing that the Air Force was doing. Now, his wasn't taking any pills. His was, I don't know if any of you guys have been involved with it or not, but there was a whole bunch of people that was chosen in the Air Force to take, what it was they played music. And you were supposed to listen to this music in the middle of the night, and it was supposed to test to see if it made you sleep better or not. And it was kind of interesting because he was in the middle of this thing, and here we are flying to, this was one of our big missions that went to Europe, went to South America, or South Africa. We went to, Egypt, we went all over the place with that mission. And we asked him, he says, okay, so are you doing okay now today, And he said, well, no, last night I didn't do too well. But then there'll be another night where he did fine. But there, it was all external. In other words, it was all something that was fed in there. But when you start talking about taking some kind of pill or something like that, now that's a whole other ballgame because you're putting something inside your body. And that's where, your biology, my degree is in biology. And one of the things that we studied in biology was that there are many, many different ways that your body will react to foreign objects coming in. And some people react more than others. And that's why, like, sometimes you have some people that have total allergic reaction and the same person not. My case, of course, was poison oak. I was very susceptible, and of course that wasn't a pill you took inside, but all I had to do was just touch the plant, and that was it. I'd break out. But my dad, he could touch the plant and eat it almost and not have anything going. So the pills will do the same thing.
The FA does publish a list of authorized pills. Most of the stuff that are decongestants are non-drowsy, like Sudafed
Yeah,
and stuff. But the list is on the FAA website.
yeah. And the funny thing about it is that Sudafed does make me drowsy, even though it's not supposed to. My wife can take it; she does fine. I take it, and boy, I'm back there like David. I'm sleeping. So All right. Anybody else? Okay, we are overtime. So for those who want to have any questions about some of, I was going to talk about what is category and class, and that's one of those things. There seems to be a bit of confusion as to what is that. And you know what? When I started reading this weekend about that, so is the confusion is everywhere else too. There is a huge confusion about what is category and class, especially when it comes to, qualifications in airplanes, when it comes to how much 90-day sorties and 30 or 60-day sorties for people that are under 200 hours with the Aero Club. There's a lot of that stuff. But if you ever have any questions about that, I do have a paper that's on that. Any other questions? Let's see. I think that's. And there's my airplane. Let's see. 19 March. Exactly 1 month away. Well, almost.
Same day, same type,
Same
different
day.
month, different
Yeah.
month.
And unless we got anybody else that has anything